What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 149 of Littleroot Lessons. As always, I'm your host, Carter Noble, joined by our fantastic co-host, Carl Wilkins. Sup, dude?
Not a whole lot. We got a bunch of event data to talk about. Not only do we have San Diego regionals to talk about, we had 104 people for the Rumble on Saturday. So we got actual, usable data from that, which is awesome. So we're gonna probably speed run through as much data as we possibly can and talk about what seemed to work and what didn't.
Yeah. So, I know I didn't get to watch anything because my work schedule. Also, Don Dozo is trending on Twitter.
When isn't Don Dozo trending on Twitter? It's easier to ask when it's not than when it is, because it's Don Dozo and Twitter. That's just how it works.
Don Dozo and Play Pokemon are both trending on Twitter.
Well, good.
We're just really sick to hear because San Diego was very popular.
Yeah.
It was a very, very good event once all the hiccups got knocked out.
Yeah, that was kind of the big issue. Is just broadcast had some hiccups at the start there. I think round 3, they had to restart the game three or four times.
Yeah.
But they finally got it going, and once it got going, it kind of just smoothed out. People are going to blame, the game's buggy. No, I think part of the reason they were having issues, it was the first coverage game.
Mm-hmm.
And it may have worked in the testing run-ups to round 3 coverage, but they have a new system where they have these screens on a wire, and they got a coax cable hooked up so they can capture the input and all that jazz. And I think it was more the setup on how they were catching and recording the capture rather than what they were doing with the actual switches and connection.
Yeah, exactly. I think, all things considered, I think it was literally just a hiccup of them trying to get this up and going. This is the first time they've ever had it in this game. There's a lot of things that kind of just went wrong all at once. And obviously, I don't want to be that guy, but obviously this is very unacceptable for a game to come out in this condition, blah 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 blah, all that stuff, whatever. But from a viewer's perspective, it does kind of suck. It's just man, I'm really excited for this.
1 hour later.
All right, cool. The game's finally starting. It sucks. It really does.
Once they got through that first round, I don't think they had too many hiccups after that. It was just,
not that I know of. Following
that
Discord
first
and
one
everything
set
this
up.
weekend. Mm-hmm.
Because they were playing via Union Circle. The way they pair you now, instead of having the LAN docks that all are wired up and hooked up and are probably not the best option in terms of Switch gameplay, because you can just Bluetooth connect with each other via link code.
Mm-hmm.
In all your games, even on Sword and Shield, you could do it that way. But this game didn't have a LAN mode. There's no LAN mode in the game. It's just Bluetooth or wireless. And with the way it works now is you'll go and join a Union Circle, and then you'll battle each other. You'll challenge each other to a battle. And I think it was just a lot of that getting back and forth is what caused a lot of errors. I know we had our fair share of communication errors in the Rumble. The servers, when you get a lot of people playing, it can cause problems.
100%. 100%.
And a lot of the codes that we were seeing on screen were just bad internet connection, slow internet connection. And that's what those codes were. And so it's just how much of this is actually the game's problem and how much of this is just being under-equipped for an event of this size?
Yep. I fully agree.
I believe this is the first 500-plus person event since Dallas 2020.
Did none of the 22 events hit that
No,
high?
nobody hit that high because they capped most of them before that.
Oh, that is true. Because, of course, we didn't have any in all of, like, the rest of 2020, all of 2021. And then, there was big caps for 22. Did San Diego hit cap?
I believe so.
Like, should I be concerned about not getting into Knoxville?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't want to hear that, Carl.
I really don't know.
I mean, like, I'm going to do everything in my power to, like, try to get in, obviously.
Yeah.
And if something goes bad, then, well, I guess I'm not going to Knoxville for Pokemon. I'm still probably going to go, but...
I don't know what you'll do that weekend.
Go hang out with Jay.
What if he's playing Pokemon?
I'll go and explore the town the 2 days he's playing Pokemon.
What if he didn't get to go get signed up and he's like you?
I'd be sad.
Yeah.
And me and him would figure something else out. Because here's the thing. We both have that week off. So, like, our plan as of now is to just go hang out in Knoxville for a week.
I probably am just going to stay home.
Yeah.
As much fun as it would be to go play, we also don't know what the format's going to be yet because OCIC is going to be format in Series 1, which that means Orlando's format is kind of up in the air because the Oceania IC is after Orlando, which Orlando...
So, from my understanding, the only reason Oceania is running Series 1 is because it was announced forever ago.
That is true. Like, and I've been telling people that a while, and that's part of it probably.
I definitely do think it is very safe to assume that Orlando and Knoxville are going to be Series 2. I see no reason for that to not be the case.
Which people are like, oh, we only got Series 1 for 2 months. I'm like, we didn't even get to play events on Series 1 in Sword and Shield. That wasn't a thing. We didn't even get to do that. We immediately started on Series 2. So that shows you how long ago it was. And just like people talking about it, it's like, we didn't even get to play Series 1. Series 1 wasn't even a format for competitive play. It was whatever the ladder was at the time. Oh, here's Series 2. That's what we'll be playing competitive on.
Yep.
I would expect them to just stick to, hey, Series 2 is what is going to be legal on ladder. That is the rule set we're going to roll with. Go with that. I would imagine Series 2, especially by Knoxville. Knoxville is late February, almost March. So I would definitely expect Knoxville to be Series 2. Orlando's kind of just the one in question.
Yep.
Okay.
And like, I think it'll be fine if it's Series 2. Like, I think it'll just be fine. Like, it's no different than, like Magic having events of the weekends, like weekend event, like weekend release events. Yeah. There we go. Sorry, I really struggled to think. But yeah, I think it's no different than a TCG having weekend release events. Like, it is what it is.
They happen. Those are always the most fun events too, usually, because everything's up in the air. Like, there's no set meta. There's no, like, you can test all you want, but you have no clue what actually is going to be good. And for some people, that's a problem. For me, I think that's really, really cool. It really shows off people's creativities, which, again, people complain about formats being stale, formats being not creative, but then they complain about, oh, the format's changing right before this event. And I'm like, that's the perfect opportunity for you to be creative, to play what you want, because you'll be able to catch people off guard if you have something that is consistent.
So here's the thing for you. There's a new Pokemon set that releases the 20th. The first event that's going to have, like, if the first regional that's going to have it legal is Orlando. People are going to be able to play with this set in a shorter amount of time than we have access to Series 2 rules.
Yeah, like we thanks to
Like,
the way news works is we know Series 2 is Paradox Pokemon added to the format.
yep.
Like we got lucky. We have access to that ahead of
So
time.
yeah, like it is what it is. You know, it obviously this is a thing that we are fortunate enough to be able to do and like be able to work on and everything. But you know, we also can go ahead and build anything we want to now.
Yeah.
These CCG players, they have to wait until their stuff actually comes out.
Yep.
Like,
They have to wait till the product releases. They have
yep.
to either buy packages of the cards or buy singles and hope that the people can find singles in time for them. So
Yep, 100%.
I really am excited for Series 2. We'll talk about Paradox Pokemon more next week when we do our little tier list episode for that.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a little bit more of an in-depth look at what Series 2 is going to be. There's some really cool things that'll come out of it because we see a lot of rain teams right now, and not so much Torkoal. That'll flip-flop here once Paradox Pokemon are added because things like Roaring Moon and Fluttermane are really, really good. I'm excited to talk about all that stuff. But that's next week.
Yep. Yep.
So, San Diego top 16. Um, Evan and the crew over at VGC Pastes put together this awesome graphic that you see on screen right now if you're watching the video. Shout out to Jisok Lee for winning San Diego Regionals with their very cool Mimi Backs team, I guess is what we're calling this. Gargonicle.
Yeah. This team is so cool.
Yeah, I like this. I like this team a lot. In my deep dive, I mentioned that hey, you should look out for these good stuff teams. These teams that are playing Baxcalibur. These teams that are playing these not so common Pokemon that are just bulky and hard to like break a lot of the time. And the team I used for example had loaded dice Baxcalibur as the example. And from what I'm hearing, that came up huge in the finals.
Cool. All right, so this is Garganachi,
Gargonicle.
Baxcalibur, Mimikyu, Water Tauros, Meowscarada, Goldengo. So is this how they present the
I believe for regionals,
sheets?
this is how it works, yes.
Okay, this is really hot. The fact that like it eliminates the language barrier by just saying, "Yeah, here's every supported language."
That's nice. That was one of the big worries when we were talking about open team sheets. It's just like, how are we just going to get handwritten like team sheets passed around? No. When you send your team sheet in, they take it, they read it, they check it, they submit it, and then they hand you this at a team meeting and at player meeting, and this is great. So, Isak, the Gargonicle was really cool. Felt very standard for Gargonicle outside of the Terra type. I had seen a lot of weird Terra types like Terra Ghost.
Terra Ghost, I think, is probably the most common one. Notably, we also don't have Iron Defense or Body Press. Instead, we have Wide Guard and Protect. Having Protect on Gargonicle is not all that common, but like it makes sense having access to like lefties and stuff.
Yeah.
Because like the argument there is like you don't need it because you also have Recover. So like you can take a hit, click Recover, and like stall out your opponent that way while they get KO'd to your Salt Cure. Wide Guard I do think is some really really good tech that like I think is super underrated, and I think has been something that like I think Wide Guard is also a big reason of like why Pelipper did well.
Yeah. That's a big thing of why Pelipper has been doing well is like it has access to that Wide Guard. Same thing with like Armarouge kind of doing it. That similar thing where it just has access to Wide Guard, can be annoying. Hariyama's in that same boat. We see it a couple times here. We see it once in the top 16 for sure. I believe there's a second one in the top 32. I'm trying to think of any other Pokemon that had access to Wide Guard in this event. The one that comes to mind to look at is Um, Glamora. Does Glamora get
Mm-hmm.
access to wide guard?
That I do not know. I can tell you if you give me 2
This one
seconds.
wasn't, but this one was definitely not that. It was choice specs with a power bomb, sludge bomb, earth power, dazzling gleam set, which is really cool. But anywho,
It does not.
okay, which is weird. It's just like you're looking at all the rock type Pokemon, just like
So looking at notable wide guard users that we haven't mentioned, there's Flamigo, Gallade.
Gallade was a big one early in the format. It's kind of fallen off now.
That's really it. It's like those two, Hariyama, Pelipper, Garganacl, and Armarouge.
Yeah.
I said Garganacl so like incorrectly for so long. It feels weird to say it correctly.
Ow. That hurt. That hiccup hurt. Oh.
This is really cool. I'm very excited to go over like just to have access to this player's data and be able to look at it in my free time.
Yeah. Jisok Lee played against who was it?
Chupa Cross.
About to say it was Chupa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chupa brought Dondozo with the stretchy Tatsugiri.
Yellow Tatsu.
Which is something we hadn't seen a whole lot of until San Diego. We saw a little bit of it there, here and there on ladder, but it hadn't really taken off yet. And now that we have these like stally, long, drawn out Dondozos with like the orange one and fissure and things like that, it's kind of interesting to see that, hey, we could also just play the stretchy one and go fast.
So what's actually really interesting about this is I really like the addition of Palmot on this team. I think Palmot is super, super cool.
See, I have been on the Palmot hype train for a while on these Dondozo teams.
It was literally the first Pokemon I built a team with. So, like, I understand.
One of the coolest things about Palmot is you just get to answer Murkrow and Talonflame cleanly with Double Shock. Most of them can't take that hit unless they have Focus Sash.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, you have access to Fake Out, so you're just a very good counter to those priority Tailwind Pokemon.
You're just like Raichu. You're Raichu that can actually do some major damage.
Yeah. And then to top
with
it all
Revival
off,
Blessing.
you have Revival Blessing to essentially have a second shot at Dondozo if your team is set up to do so.
Which is so cool. Imagine KOing Dondozo and then you just pull out the Uno reverse card and be like, no.
No, it's coming back.
I also, I don't know if I like it or not, but this team has one Protect on it.
Yeah, that's a little sketchy, especially in the way this format is going. I think Protect is very important.
Granted, we have 2 choice items and Assault Vest. So, like, if this is where it's going, then, you know, but I don't know, man. It's a weird one.
Like, we have...
Obviously, you know, they played exceptionally well to make it to the finals of a regional, but...
Yeah.
Man.
There were essentially 2 copies of this team playing 5 of the same Pokemon, but they had different fire types.
In Top Cut?
Yes.
Interesting.
Chupa Cross and then Zach Carlson. Carlson had Talonflame. Chupa had Arcanine.
Oh, interestingly, Pangy also top 32'd with Palmot. He was playing Iron Fist.
Not on ours.
Yeah. No, he top 32'd, unfortunately, instead of, you know, top 16 to make it on the graphic. But Iron Fist, Revival Blessing, Fake Out, Mach Punch, Double Shock. Does Double Shock get boosted by Iron Fist? It doesn't, right?
I don't think it does, no.
Okay. Ooh, AV Scizor, Murkrow, Mousehold. Ghost Mousehold is sick.
That's kind of become the common mousehold in my
With
opinion.
without Population Bomb.
That's also kind of started to happen. We've seen that happen a little bit as these mousehold become more supporty. Population bomb is less of a need when you're just playing protect, follow me, encore, beat up, all that stuff.
Yeah, he has it next to Annihilate, so like beat up into Annihilate is just good enough.
Yeah.
This is cool. I'm a fan of that team too. There was one other that I really wanted to look at. Oh, I want to look at the Dreadnought team.
Aaron Brock.
Aaron Brock, who I believe finished top 8.
Um,
Was it top 8 or top 4?
I can't remember.
Okay. So this is like Rain Room.
Yeah,
Because
that's essentially what it is. Yeah, Rain Room.
We have Farigiraf, King Gambit, Hariyama as like our slow mode. And then we have Pelipper, Dreadnought, and Meowscarada for like our fast mode. Safety Goggles for Farigiraf. Armor
That's cool.
Tail. Fairy type. Grass Overgrow, Focus Sash, Meowscarada.
Standard stuff there.
Flying Defiant, AV, King Gambit.
That's pretty
Flying's-
standard too.
Flying's an interesting type. I think I like it.
So the idea
you resist
is,
fighting, you're immune to ground.
yeah, that's pretty much it. Is you resist the fighting type super effective that would be going into you. You resist ground earthquake from Garchomp. You have assault vest to be bulky. You'll eat a rock slide from Garchomp very easily. So the idea here with that King Gambit is just like, I'm anti-intimidate for my Meowscarada, Dreadnought, Hariyama, but I'm also just like consistent damage across the board because I have a base 130 plus attack.
Life Orb, Grass Dreadnought.
Seems fine. Like, you're 4 times weak to grass, just Terra into grass to resist grass. Makes sense.
Protect, Liquidation, Rock Slide, Terra Blast.
Yep. Seems about as standard as you're going to get for Dreadnought.
So here's the thing about like Grass Dreadnought. Because of Terra Blast, it's actually a pretty okay answer into Dondozo.
Yeah.
Because it still does damage based on their special defense, which is Dondozo's like weak point. So like you get to have.
No, it won't.
Yes, it does.
Terra Blast changes to whatever attack type is better. Was your highest.
I thought it uses whichever attack stat is higher. I thought it was a special move that could use your attack.
No. It changes to whatever. It changes physical or special based on your stats.
Well, that's really disappointing. That's not how I thought this worked.
No, it's Terra Blast will become a physical attack if your attack stat is higher.
Huh.
It is not Photon Geyser.
Yeah, I thought this was like Psyshock.
No. It's closely related to how Photon Geyser will check whichever attack or special attack is higher and use that and still be a special move. This is not how that works. In the way everything has been described to me, that is not how this works.
Yep, according to Bulbapedia, you are correct. Man, that's really unfortunate. I mean, it still just does a ton of damage.
It still gives you a super effective attack into Dondozo, yes. Because otherwise, you're not really hitting that thing hard with Liquidation and Rock Slide unless they go Terra Flying in front of you. Which, if they go Terra Flying in front of you, you just don't even Terra and you just click Rock Slide anyway and hope that you can avoid Earthquakes.
Yep.
But a Dondozo answer, it's not the greatest at. I'm more interested in the other rain teams, the ones with Palafin that we see all over the place.
If I could
specifically
find one.
Judy's. Judy's is interesting. to say the least.
Goldango, Palafin, Amoonguss, Salamence, Pelipper, King Gambit.
Like, I like this 6. This 6 feels very good.
Lefty, Steel, Goldango, Mystic Water, Grass, Palafin. I like Mystic Water over Choice Band.
It lets you do haze, right?
Like, it lets you have haze, jet punch, wave crash, flip turn. You're only clicking water attacks anyway. Like,
yeah, like that's all you're really doing. You're either clicking jet punch, or you're clicking flip turn, or you're clicking wave crash, like for your damage moves. That's all you're ever going to do anyway. Is one of those 3. Why not just have access to all 3?
100%.
I love this. I love this.
I'm very much in agreement. Dark Amoonguss, Citrus Berry Amoonguss is interesting. Life Orb, Steel Salamence, that's pretty standard. Damp Rock, Grass Pelipper.
You're just gonna gloss over the fact that the Amoonguss has Leaf Storm.
I wasn't looking at attacks at all, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Leaf Storm Amoonguss.
Man, that's a choice.
That's a Dozo counter. That's what that is. That is a Dozo counter. Like you said, Salamence and Pelipper, both great Tailwind setters. Steel Terra Salamence is very standard. Yep. Terra Grass Pelipper is interesting.
I could take it or leave it on that one.
Not my first choice of Terra types for Pelipper, I think. I think I would rather just go to something that's like that is just electric resistant, maybe even ground is just like an electric immunity.
So the thought process behind like not specifically ground is because you're setting up rain and don't want to be able to give them a super effective like rain boosted attack into you. Like I'm assuming.
Here's the thing: if they're threatening you with a water type, you don't need to Terra anyway.
Correct. Like, you're just like, whatever. But
yeah. I wonder
this seems cool.
I wonder what the number of Pelippers carrying Damp Rock is. It's probably really high, right?
Give me half a second, I'll tell you. Let's see.
I would be very happy to know if it's all of them.
See, there's 1, 2. This one is Life Orb. Hold on.
Which one's that one?
This is Angel Miranda. I believe this is top 32, not top 16.
Do you have a number on the page here?
This is page number 10.
10.
Steel Goldango.
Yeah, I found it.
Lefties, Steel Goldango. AV Flying King Gambit. Choice Scarf, Grass, Water Tauros. Life Orb, Fairy Pelipper. Safety Goggles, Fairy Mimikyu. And Citrus Berry, Dark Amoonguss. Also with Leaf Storm, interestingly.
I think that's probably going to become the standard Amoonguss set just to counter Dondozo.
So what's really sick about this is like your Rain Abuser is Water Tauros.
I mean, that's fine.
Just punch them.
Yeah, that is honestly fine. You have Chilling Water, Wave Crash, and Raging Bull, all which do different things for you. So, like, depending on what you need to lock into, will determine what you lock into. Like, you are Choice Scarf as well, so you're a base 100 with Choice Scarf, means you're very, very fast. Fast Chilling Water is great. Fast Raging Bull is great. Fast Wave Crash can pick up a Oko at some place in the rain. Yeah, I like it a lot.
So it looks like there's 5 that are not. 5 Pelippers out of 7.
Interesting.
That can't be right.
That's...
Yep, out of 7.
I'm about to say 7 sounds right. I remember counting correctly. 7 sounds correct.
There's 2 Life Orb, 1 Citrus Berry, let's see, the 1 Eject Button.
Interesting. Okay.
I believe that's 2 Damp Rock, or 3.
You said 2 life orb, 1 citrus berry, 1 eject button, and then that leaves 3 more. So in 2 were damp rock. So there's 1 random one still.
Oh, all right. Hold on.
It's fine if we can't find it. It's okay.
Yep. 2 damp rock, 1 life orb, 3 damp rock.
Ah, that's it. There's a 3rd damp rock.
1 citrus, 1 eject, 2 life orb. Yeah. Okay. There you go. 3 damp rock.
Cool. Almost half usage.
Interestingly, this other team with the other life orb is a carbon copy of the other team as well. Tauros, King Gambit, Pelipper, Goldango, Mimikyu, Among Us with Leaf Storm. Yep. Looks like a carbon copy.
Yep. We would be remiss to not include Chase Taitiki
Yeah, for sure.
in our top cut discussion.
Let's see.
Congrats to them. They played a very amazing game to make it that far.
I saw him on Twitter talking about it.
The big reason
why
I bring it
does
up,
have a rental code up. I might play this at some point.
the big reason I brought it up is because he's playing Salazzle, which is something that we hadn't seen a whole lot before about a week ago, probably. Salazzle really showed up a lot on the Liberty Note top 30 teams from ladder. And this thing's actually really cool because you get to essentially do what Lycanroc was doing, but you don't have to have the sand set up because you're really fast as you are.
Yep, I really I've seen Salazzle a couple different times. And I'm just like, man, this is a really cool piece of tech. I'm a big fan of Endeavor Salazzle.
Yeah.
That seems hot.
You are Focus Sash, Fake Out, Endeavor Salazzle. You also have Overheat and Sludge Bomb to just deal massive amounts of damage. Also, it has a very good shiny.
Also, Mirror Herb Tauros.
That's kind of cool.
There's, according to what Jay was saying, because he was keeping me up to date over the weekend, there was a lot of Mirror Herb.
Yeah, because people expected a lot of setup, right? Like, you expected Swords Dance Garchomp, Dragon Dance, Baxcalibur,
Fun
Bulk Up,
fact,
Annihilate.
there's 3 copies of Mirror Herb in top 32. All 3 of them are on Tauros. It looks like it's 2 water, 1 fire Tauros.
Ah, cool.
It's really sick.
I
the
believe...
fire Tauros is super offensive.
Yeah.
We are Raging Bull, Close Combat, Flare Blitz, Protect.
I believe the main idea there is you're looking to get the bulk up off of Annihilate, right?
Yep. Bulk up, a Swords Dance, anything. Does it copy Commander?
I do not know.
I need someone to theory test, to test something for me. Because if so, that's the play to beat Dondozo.
It's not though. That's the problem.
I mean, yes, they're unaware, and then you're just sad. But the perk is you then have +2 into your defenses as well, and can take hits from them.
Yeah.
It's column A, you're not doing the damage. Column B, they're also not doing the damage. So, whatever.
The one Annihilate in top 16 belonged to Wolf. He was playing the Choice Scarf Final Gambit set. And Terra Grass, which is interesting.
See, it looks like there are 4 Annihilates in top 32.
Which everyone was expecting Annihilate to do really, really well this weekend, and that just didn't happen.
There's a Choice Scarf. There's a Lefties with Bulk Up. There's a Citrus with Bulk Up. Which that is That team's sick too. Because we have Mousehold as well. Ground Talonflame. Water Sylveon. Ghost Meowscarada. Yeah, this seems cool. I'm a fan of it. And then another lefties bulk up.
Yeah, Annihilate just kind of fell flat this weekend, apparently. It just, for some reason, couldn't put up the numbers that things like Hydreigon, King Gambit, Tauros did. Fun fact, there's more Dragonite than there are Annihilate.
That's crazy.
I will say that Goldango is the big winner this weekend. After kind of falling off there are 12 copies in the top 16.
Dude, it fell off hard for quite a while.
Yeah, people had kind of figured out, hey, this is how you beat Goldango. And a lot of the people that wanted to play Goldango had to go back to the drawing board. There's always going to be the Steel, Nasty Plot, Life Orb, Make It Rain Goldango. But I've seen Dazzling Gleam Fairy with, leftovers. I've even seen the Steel set with leftovers that are just playing bulky. You're not really playing any kind of speed investment. And it's interesting looking at what they have done to kind of make Goldango good again. There's also people playing Scarf with Thunderbolt or Thunder and Power Gem because it has access to both of those.
Yeah, that's what Quiver Dancer was playing. Which, Quiver, if you're listening, can I please play your team? Can you please send me the rental code? I love your team and I want to play it.
I will say, prize of most unique team in top 16, I think goes to James Evans with their ice, Obama Snow Titan team. I think Titan is really, really cool. They did a lot of help to the ice type in general to make it work. And Titan plus Obama Snow will probably be a lead we see more often as the format kind of goes on. Mainly just due to the fact that in Snow, Titan's really hard to take out if you're attacking it on the physical side.
Yep.
Obama Snow gets to pretty much set up free Aurora Veil unless you have a way to stop the weather. Which, that's going to become more common as the format goes on, unfortunately, for them. But in those games where it doesn't, free Aurora Veil's really good.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing, right? When it's good, it's insane. But unfortunately, like you said, if this event is anything to go off of, Pelipper is going to become more popular. So, I don't know.
Yeah, Pelipper's going to be... Pelipper's already popular. We've seen a lot from Rain teams. Heck, when we get to our event, Rain won our event. So, shout out there. But overall, San Diego had a lot of cool tech, a lot of cool things out of it. A lot of people were just were worried that Dondozo was just going to run rampant throughout this entire event. 5 in the top 32 is nothing. That's just very below average conversion rate.
Yep.
Which, people were talking, people were so worried about Dondozo just being the big bad bully of San Diego, and that just didn't happen. It goes to show that every strategy is beatable if people prepare for it the right way, and this format is very wide open still when it comes to terms of what is good, what is broken, and things like that.
Yep, 100%.
With that, you want to talk about our event, or do you want to just kind of talk a little bit about it, data wise, and kind of
give me 2 seconds to pull up the data from it. But yeah, I would love to talk about our event. Yeah, so we also had an event this weekend. We ran our first Rumble best of 1 Swiss into best of 3 top cut. We hit 104 players, which is just absolutely absurd.
Yeah, triple digits was not on my bingo board of things we would hit this weekend.
You and I kind of joked about it last week. You're like, what happens if we hit triple digits? I don't know. We run it anyway.
Yeah, we just go for it. And
genuinely absurd.
For all intents and purposes, this went off about as good as I could have expected a first event to go.
Yeah, 100%.
There was some issues we had with going from rounds to single elimination for Top Cut, mainly due to the fact that there were 2 people in Top Cut. I'm not naming names. You know who you are. That dropped out just before or just at the end of the Swiss rounds, and I couldn't.
Not naming names.
I couldn't pull them out, so my top 32 is technically like top 34.
Oops.
But we made it work. But we got him in there. We made it work. Shout out.
I do want to like figure out something with Limitless and be like, hey, is this normal? How do we avoid this in the future?
Yeah, which that'll be something I have to talk to them about.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kid Flash. First place. Believe they have a 10-2 record overall, which I believe it was like 5-2 going into Top Cut. That sounds right.
Yes, because we played top 32, so that's 32, 16.
That's 5 rounds of
yeah, so that would be 5-2.
Yeah, 5-2.
Cool.
So, I also want to shout out to the third place, Kakudan. They were undefeated in Swiss. They were undefeated through Swiss.
That's awesome.
They did. I don't think they dropped a game until their top 8 match.
Or it would have been top 4, right?
No, they dropped a game.
Oh, game.
They didn't lose a game until top 4 because they 2-0'd top 32, 2-0'd top 16, I believe is what it was, and then dropped a game in top 8, but moved on, and then lost to Kid Flash in top 4.
So, this is really sick. So of the like players in top 16, there's like 2 who are like long time, maybe 3 longtime members of the community. Like there's Padillac, who I think is qualified for both of our invitationals. Is that right?
Padillac is going for their 3-peat for qualifying for the invitational.
And then of course Jay was giving me updates throughout the day and everything. He streamed his entire run, I believe. Who has this sweet Esparta team that I'm very excited to like look into and like work with him. Because him and I are both going to Knoxville. We have made it very abundantly clear to each other that we're going to build with each other and hopefully play the same thing. So
yeah, that's always the plus, right? Is when you go to events that somebody is play, like you guys work together and build and play with the same thing.
Yeah.
And this Esparta Annihilate team it's really, really cool. I know he's a big fan of Arbolivia.
He is. He loves the little olive tree.
Been playing the heck out of that thing the last couple weeks for sure. Volcarona.
He also has been like a big fan of Azu and Volcarona here lately too. Last week for laddering, because the ladder wasn't up yet, Jay and I did a best of 3 for the channel. And I was very, very lucky to get a pair on his Azumarill on game 3. And then Weavile decided it was going to be insane and just like dodge every hit.
Yeah, of course.
It's a very, very good match, and it is the most stereotypical way that Jay could lose a match.
Yeah. I want to look at Kid Flash's team a little bit, because we talked about rain a little bit in San Diego and how much Pelipper there was. The fact that there was just a rain team that won our event as well is kind of interesting. Pelipper here, Damp Rock, they were Terra Flying, which is something I'm more akin to seeing for Pelipper. Terra Grass Red Raw with Life Orb, but they played Ice Spinner instead of Terra Blast, which is cool.
That is really interesting.
So what that does is that gives you a second, like, good way to hit Flying or Dragon Dondozo.
Mm-hmm.
But it also gives you a way to break this terrain of Indeedee, so your Murkrow can, like, function a little bit if it needs to. Which theirs doesn't have any, like, direct, like, targeted prankster moves, but there's some synergies there if it did. Here's a throwback. We're not used to seeing Roar at all.
Dude, it is so few and far between anymore.
Like,
it's, yeah.
We saw it a ton in Series 10, right? Because no Dynamax means that you could roar things out and push away Xerneas and whatever. It works the same way in this game when you just have Roar to push out Trick Room setters.
Yeah, for sure. It's as good as you think it is.
Yeah. This Serena is Choice Scarf.
I love Choice Scarf Serena.
Choice Scarf Serena with U-turn, Play Rough, Low Sweep, which is your speed control, which is really cool. And then Power Whip. Power Whip, I think, could also just be Drop Kick.
Yeah, I could take it or leave it.
It could be either one. And then we have Specs Goldango with Make It Rain, Shadow Ball, Thunder, and Steel Beam. So it's like if you need to pick up that KO, you just have Choice Specs Steel Beam. Along with the Terra Steel. That probably hits like a truck.
Oh, I guarantee it. It, like, we were joking earlier about, like, someone brought up, like, bringing back Gigantamax forms in the DLC.
Oh gosh,
or it's like, so it's like you have Life Orb, Solar Power boosted Sun, G-Max Wildfires from Terra Charizard.
Goodness, please
it's
no.
Like even Kyogres fear him. Just like, yeah, that's about on the same power level, right?
Close. One other team I want to look at is this Dondozo team with Tatsugiri, Palmot, Torkoal, Meowscarada, and Gothitelle in the hands of Aminco? I'm not sure how to pronounce their name. This is really cool because it's just like I have Dondozo, Tatsugiri, Palmot, Meowscarada, which is a very good 4 together.
Mm-hmm.
But I also just have Palmot, Gothitelle, Meowscarada, Torkoal to punch things if I need to go Trick Room mode. And this is kind of what I've always been talking about with people with Dondozo, is Dondozo Tatsugiri is flexible enough to kind of just slot into archetypes in certain spots. And so...
Yep, that sounds about right.
Huh?
I said that sounds about right.
And so what ends up happening is you'll see like the Sand Dondozo team with Tyranitar, Lycanroc plays the Sand mode, and then there's just Dondozo Tatsugiri. Well, this team has the Trick Room mode and just has Dondozo Tatsugiri alongside with it. And it'll be cool to see like how Dondozo teams adapt and change as the format adapts and changes, because they're just so flexible and so easily slottable into teams.
Yep.
I don't have any like direct stats for this event because we don't have any like actual numbers. But we could see like,
unfortunately, yeah.
There's so many there's 104 teams here that we would have to parse through to collect data on, unfortunately. We're not going to do that. If you want to see any of it, it is all up on Limitus. It is available to access for everyone. I'm sure VGC Pace, once they get caught up with San Diego, will probably get caught up with this. We were the only other event this weekend, funnily
enough. Which is really sick.
So I thought that was really, really cool. So that brings us to Team of the Week, right?
Yeah, where I got to beat up Jay. It was great.
Yeah, you got to, essentially, because ladder was down, you got to play a best of 3 to kind of show people how to approach these things going into San Diego.
Yep. So, this team I played, this was a team I found thanks to VGC Pace because they're absolutely amazing. I appreciate everything they do for the community. This is a team by Boyd, which
Jamie Boyd.
Yes, I was gonna say I'm like I cannot remember their first name. In the documentation, it's labeled as stall, which like I can see why there are definitely like tactics, like there are definitely parts of this team that I would classify as like stall based, which like historically speaking is not a doubles centric like. It's not something you can easily do in doubles. Is have a stall team, right?
Yeah.
So you have this like strength sap, leech seed, throat spray, Arboliva. You have soft boiled, calm mind, Blissey, acid armor, lefties, Gudra, and like bulk up Cerulege. And then from there it's just like, here's Weavile, here's Quaquaval. Let's go to town. Let's punch some people. So like
you gotta have some damage on your stall team.
Correct. Things that really impressed me were Blissey. This Blissey was absolutely absurd. I got off a single Calm Mind and then just like one shot things. And like then I was in a position to get a second one off. Just like, all right, this is over. That was game 2. And game 3, because it's Serene Grace, I hit the para on his Azu on turn 1 as it went for Belly Drum. Which is really unfortunate because like it might have been a roll to like put him under 50 to not be able to get his bill. I think it did put him under 50. Citrus brought him up and then it like put him down to like 7 or something. He said just something absurdly low.
Jeez.
Weavile that game hit Fake Out, dodged Flame Body, then proceeded to dodge Heat Wave, hit a Snarl Flinch thanks to King's Rock, dodge a Rock Slide, and pick up a KO on Garchomp.
Jeez.
So, Weavile wanted to prove its weight after, like, I gave it a lot of crap game 1 because, like, it went for Fake Out and then died to Heat Wave. Just like, oh, that's really disappointing.
It's a Weavile. If you expect it to live the Heat Wave, that's a problem. That's your
correct. Problem. Like, understandably so. I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm not Sash. That's unfortunate. And then, like, game 3 is just like, alright, I got this.
I'll pick this game up. Don't you worry.
I really wanted to, like, get to showcase Quaquaval because, like, I don't think I've had it or Meowscarada on the channel yet. And so I'm like, man, I really want this to be good. And, like, I brought it in game 1, and I think it, like, hit a single attack and then proceeded to get bodied by a +6 Azumarill. It's like, yeah, that's fine. You did chip damage. And then games 2 and 3, I left it at home and instead brought Blissey, which it tanked a play rough from Azumarill. And I'm just like, oh,
that's
okay.
Unusual, but sure.
So then afterwards, I went and pulled out the paste. I max defense Blissey.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Like, oh, okay, this is cool.
Not surprised in least there. There's some cool tech on this. I believe when we get the Hisuian Gudra, if we get the Hisuian Gudra, that'll probably be a much better Stallmon.
Did Acid Armor used to give +3?
I don't remember. I don't know.
Well,
I believe it was only
help.
I believe it was only +2.
Well, according to Bulbapedia, it's always been +2.
Yeah.
But man, I could have swore at one point it was +3.
Maybe.
But
you could also be crazy.
Dude, I could have swore, I'm like, man, this thing is sick. This is why, like, because it was one of the few Pokemon that had, like, Muck was one of the few Pokemon that had access to it in Gen 1. In fact, it was Muck and Vaporeon were the only Pokemon in Gen 1 that had access to it.
I'm about to say, I remember Acid Armor Vaporeon. That is a thing.
I do too. And for some reason, when we were doing those, like, Gen 1 double battles forever ago, I thought I remember you having Acid Armor Vaporeon and it giving +3.
I don't remember.
But nope, evidently I am wrong.
I
Because I
do
even said in
like
the video.
this Gudra set though.
Yeah, this Gudra's sick. This
So
Gudra is very, very cool.
your Sap Sipper Terra Water with Muddy Water as your stab water move when you go to Terra. But then you also have Acid Armor Body Press. One of the cool things about Gudra is you're just so naturally specially bulky that they have to hit you on the physical side. So with enough Acid Armors, you just become an unkillable wall. And then you also get access to Recovery and Life Dew, which notably heals up the rest of your team too. So it's really, really cool that this kind of unique Gudra set. I'm not sure if you even like how much you played with it in the best of 3, but
I brought it every game. Games 1 and 2, it was my game 1. It was my Terra. I think game 2 it was Blissey. Because he had Sylveon on his side, and I'm like, all right, well, I just get to Terra here, and I'm gonna click Muddy Water, and Gudra was blind as a bat game 1. I think it missed 3 Muddy Waters over 3 turns and got 0 accuracy drops.
that is rough.
So
Poor
then
Gudra.
games 2 and 3, I don't think it missed a single one, and like got a Muddy Water like accuracy drop on like every turn. It hit both of them and got an accuracy drop on I think one of them on each turn.
It heard you talking smack. It's like, and now I gotta step up.
This team really did. I'm like, I shit talked Gudra game 1. I made fun of Weavile game 1, and then those two were just like, all right, we got this. We're fine.
We're gonna be fine. Yep. So yeah, go check out this team. Check out the laddering episode or the showdown episode, whatever you want to call it. The games were great. Again, thanks to Jamie Boyd for sharing this team with VGC Pastes, who shared it with us. Go check them out.
Huge shout outs to Jay for taking his time from his day to sit down and play a match.
Yeah.
Jay's a great guy. I can't wait to get to team build with him a lot.
I'm about to say you could open up a whole new channel. You could have everybody team building with you and Jay.
I really don't know why we don't just add Jay to ours.
I don't know.
But
because we bother him too much.
Eh.
I said the same thing for Bauerdad. I was like, why don't we just add Bauerdad to ours?
That's very true.
Because we just bother him all the time.
Yeah.
Like we talk a lot in that in our private channel. So let's see. We talked Team of the Week. We talked San Diego and events, and Paradox tier list is going to be next week. I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, you messaged me earlier in the week. We're like, hey, by the way, that's what we're doing. I'm just like, all right, cool.
Yeah, we're gonna do
that. And then
we're gonna do that.
I thought about it. I'm like, wait, we have 2 events to talk about this weekend.
Like we were going to be doing San Diego this weekend anyway, but it's like we have plans out for the next. Now that events are going, we have things to talk about again. We'll have a surplus of teams for you to play. You can start playing some of the cool things that won events. I know, like you said, you're gonna try and maybe get a hold of Quiver Dancer to play their team that they played in San Diego.
I think Angelo's already reached out to them. So, obviously, if so, that's awesome. I would love to because I think that team looks.
If
sick.
not, we'll get a hold of Chase.
Yeah, I'll his actually has the rental code up, so
yeah,
I'll just message him and be like, hey, are you okay with me playing this?
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's a wrap on 149. I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, this was fun. I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
So I guess it's time to get out of here.
Yeah, I got dinner waiting probably.
Probably also same. Let's see. How do I make my head smaller?
I don't know.
There we go. That looks better. So yeah, as always, thank you all so much for watching, so much for listening. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you're listening over here on YouTube. If you're listening on just one of the audio platforms, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And, just leave us a 5-star review anywhere you can. Help us push ourselves against the algorithm as much as possible.
Yep.
If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do that at LR Lessons. Myself at Mr. Missouri 25. Carl's at Musical VGC. You can follow Carl and I both on Twitch as well at Musical and at Mr. Missouri 25. You can come hang out with us in the community Discord. That's where you can, get to play in all of our events.
Yeah.
We do have another qualifier coming up here in another Rumble coming up here on the
21st.
Yes, the 21st. That is next Saturday. So
yeah,
you have another
not
episode.
This Saturday, but the Saturday after that. Yep. I will not be running that one. I don't know who's going to be running that one yet, but it will not be me because I will not be home.
I also will not be home.
Well, you work. I have family Christmas that we're doing.
Yep, understood.
Family Christmas that was overdue and late. So we might have a couple of new people running it. Or we might just reschedule it to a different day. I don't know yet.
Yep. Who knows? We'll figure it out. Let's see. You can always go ahead and head over to the website. That is lrlessons.com. While you're there, you can go and check out all the articles and stuff we have written up there.
They're out of date, but
they are. They're from Sword and Shield era, but
we need Scarlet and Violet writers. Go.
If anyone is interested in writing an article or anything, by all means, please reach out to us. We would love to get that written and up on the website and everything. I might put out some feelers, and anyone who went to San Diego and wants to write up a team report, by all means, please reach out. We have the website. Please let us use it to put stuff out.
Yeah, we pay money for this thing. Let us use it. Let us do good.
While you are there, you can go ahead and check out the merch page. That's over on Teespring.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a way to get it linked to the website, but I think I have to pay money to do that.
Well, that's really unfortunate.
It would be really handy if it's just on the website, though.
Yeah, but it is what it is. Their stuff is great. I really do appreciate everything that Teespring has on their site for us. But yeah, if you want to go pick up some merch, obviously that's the way you do so. And if you want to support us and aren't able to pick up merch because for one reason or another, I get it. It's expensive. Life is expensive. But you still want to be able to support us. You can go over to Patreon because we have a Patreon now.
Yeah.
And for as little as $2 a month, you can help keep our lights on.
Yep.
So it really does help us out.
Get a special Discord role. Certain other levels, you get a shout out, which Carter's getting ready to do here in a little bit. I believe the max out is $25.
Yep. We have 2, 5, 10, and 25. 25 comes with a coaching session with Carl and myself once a month. So that's, obviously another incentive. If that is something you're interested in, by all means, reach out to us and get on there. So,
yep.
We already have one that I'm going to hopefully set up sometime this week to get with them and nail all that out. So, are we done? Did I hit everything?
You just gotta do the Patreon run out and just get us out of here.
Yep. So, special shout outs to our $10 and up tiers. Want to give a shout out to Dylan of Paldea and Papa Swish. So thank you all so much for the support. Really do appreciate it. Y'all have been absolutely killing it on the Patreon. Y'all are great. So I think that's it. Are we out of here?
We are out of here.
Cool. Thank you all so much. Have a fantastic week. And until then, have a good one. Peace.